The Black Death is a pandemic that brought Europe to its knees and to the brink of an apocalypse. From Italy to Ireland in a period of 3 years from 1347 to 1350, it wiped out almost half of Europe's population. There was 3 types of the Black Death, including bubonic, swollen glands, pneumonic, your lungs turned to liquid, and septicemic, when you bleeded from everywhere. This disease was so tragic that the people only expected death, and 20 million died.
So my wife gave me this empty book before she passed away. Now I've decided to use it. Today was like any other day. I ate breakfast, which was stale bread and eggs. After that, I went to work. My work was gardening. I did the usual and watered plants and took care of them. After a day's work, I came home to see the tax collector standing in front of my door. He came up to me and took more than half a month's of work of pay.
Italy was one of the most advanced countries in terms of commerce and trading. Many people were on the move and going through many towns in small periods of time. It was the perfect breeding ground for the disease because of the advancements in trading as well as its crowded areas. The first known contraction of the plague was the arrival of sailors from the Black Sea. They would then go home to their families, and their families would contract it as well. The pestilence would continue to spread until it went on to Ireland in the 1350s. Before the disease spread to Europe, it had tragic effect on people of China. They had also had widespread famine, and the disease was no less relentless. The average day before the Black Death became quite advanced. People started moving from city to city, and the feudalism system started to weaken. From as early as the 10th century, a great deal of economic success followed this weakening. Trade across Asia and Africa increased, and times were cheaper to purchase. Large sums of people became merchants, as it was a great option to no longer be peasants and make a good amount of money. Many cities became overpopulated, as well as birth rates increasing, and hygiene worsened. This followed by poor farming conditions and causing widespread famine. This made many places in Europe extremely unprepared for the Black Death.
Dear Diary, for some reason this place and this town's getting crowded. There are now less jobs and less places for people to stay in. My shipment of goods got delayed, so there's no point in me going to work. I've heard that people are now getting sick. I don't know what it is, but they say that they're coughing out blood and that they have large black spots all over their bodies. I then just stayed home for the rest of the day. Dear Diary, there's a word being spread about something dangerous called the Black Plague. I don't think it's something to worry about though, because I got work to do. On my way to work, I saw more and more people sick. It was the same as yesterday, but they were also vomiting, and I saw large black spots on their bodies. By the time I got to work, I saw someone standing there. He told me to be cautious about the Black Death stuff, and told me to stay home.
The Black Death was an extremely contagious disease. It was spread by rat blood-infected fleas that had a resistance to the disease. They would then vomit infected blood onto the human body. Fleas would jump effortlessly from human to human because of the crowdedness of Europe at the time. The advanced trading systems, specifically through the Silk Road, made it easier for diseases to travel from city to city. There were also a group of people called the flagellants who would continuously whip themselves and move from place to place, infecting thousands. Open sewage did not help the situation, and also the fact that nobody had baths and often lived with hay floors and other animals to protect themselves from the disease. The most common form of the plague was the bubonic plague. If the disease was contracted, the first symptoms were a bad cough. This would be followed by large black spots in the neck, armpits, and crotch area.
Dear Diary, I did what the guy told me and stayed home. Today I looked outside my window and saw people whipping themselves. Many people are calling them the flagellants. Now I'm starting to feel a bit ill. I'm getting hotter by the minute. It's starting to form some black spots on my neck. I think I'm just gonna lay down for a bit.
The Black Death was such an efficient disease that it wiped out people in little time, and nobody was prepared to stop it. Many priests and physicians told people to eat lettuce and avoid sleeping on their backs. People also placed a mix of human feces and flower petals on swollen glands. Often people turned to the church for help and boarded up loved ones.
Dear Diary, I don't think I'm getting any better. In fact, I think I'm gonna get worse. I've tried getting help from a doctor, but most of them are dead. The remaining doctors say to put flower roots and excrement on the body. Apparently, it's meant to stop the swelling and the black spots from growing. I might as well give it a try. I've also started praying to God so my sins can be forgiven and the disease can be cured. My neighbors have boarded up my house for some reason. I think they're crazy. I don't know what I've done, but something's gone wrong. It doesn't really matter anymore. I need to stay alive. I can't believe this is happening. Dear Diary, I'm not feeling so well. I'm all alone with no protection. I've been coughing non-stop and my stomach hurts. It's really hurting. My glands, my groins, my neck, and my armpits are swelling. And there appears to be lots of black spots around those areas. I'm in so much pain. It's unbelievable. I think today's my day. So I'm just gonna lay down and wait.
There were many different theories as to how the Black Death ended. The most educated would be that the disease basically ran out of hosts, or infected people. Everybody who survived had made an immunity to the disease, and this occurred in the late 1350s. Other reasons may include people being quarantined and removed from infected areas. This was typically the wealthy people or people who originally lived in more isolated areas.